What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you my Diary of a Wimpy book collection. So let me tell you one thing. I don't have one of them, which was Diary of a Wimpy old school, which had the black hardcover, but I have all of them apart and except that book. So let's get on with this video, and I'll show you the first book in a moment. And another thing is, I'll give them a rating out of 10, and I'll tell you which is my favorite. I'll give you reviews and tell you what story I loved about it. So our first book is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the book with no other name. So this was the first book, and in this book they introduced the Heffleys and all of the characters which are in the movie. But the thing is, their introduction could be more fun. I got this book as a little boring because they could add extra bits. I don't know why Sunday Telegraph have named this book hilarious, but still I'll give it a 5 out of 10, and that's true. So our next book, the second one, is Diary of a Wimpy Roderick Rules. So in this book, they're telling about how Roderick is every time bullying his little brother Gregory, and Gregory tries to get away from embarrassment when the other kids see him carrying a diary or a journal around, and Roderick, his elder brother, gets to know about that Gregory has a journal, and he wants to know about it. And the thing is, he tells about how his summer holidays went, and they were really bad. It's a bit chaos for Gregory in this book, but I'll give it a 6 out of 10. So the third one is Diary of a Wimpy, The Last Straw. So in this book, you know that in the start of the year you need to make New Year resolutions, but Greg's dad, Mr. Heffley, wants Greg to man up himself and list his wimpy ways to become a man in the new year, and he threatens Greg if he doesn't man up, he will be sending him to the military academy. And in this story, Greg is just telling about how, stressed out he was. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10 as well. Next book in the collection is Dog Days, and this is my personal favorite. I don't know what's so special in this story, but something is. The way Gregory tries to make out with the girl he likes at the swimming pool area, and when his mom tries to get Gregory away from games which he is playing all night. But I don't know why, but I love this book, and I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Another book, and it's Cabin Fever. So Greg Heffley is in big trouble because school property has been damaged, and he is the big suspect. That's one story, and the next story combined in this book is it's snowing outside. It's the winter season, and Greg, while sleeping, is afraid, and all of that extra bits. Greg Heffley's big trouble. School property has been damaged, and Greg is the prime suspect. But the crazy thing is, he is innocent, or at least sort of it. Yeah, it's a bit of a more serious book as compared to the other parts, and I'll give it a 5 out of 10. So the next book is The Third Wheel, and this was the first time they tried to get out with the hardcover. This is more of a biography than a diary. It's all about when Greg was young and when he became an adult, and it was Valentine's Day, and he was looking for a girl to go out with. It's also emotional as compared to the other book collections, and this is one of the best of the collections as well. I give it a 7 out of 10. Now, this is not a story. This is a do-it-yourself book for the kids who want to be like Greg and make up a journal like Greg does. Jeff Kinney, the author, understanding the kids who want to be like Greg. But there's a fun story on this, that when I was young, I liked you. play with the pens, and I ruined with a pen. I'm not gonna show you inside, or I will. My writing was pretty, not, what did you say, it's pretty hilarious. It was not good at all, so I ruined it with a pen. I'm gonna buy another one, but it's something unusual. But when you're continuing with the stories and something like this come out, yeah, I give it a 6 out of 10. The Big Boys movie diary, and this was my favorite as well. You can see it was the biggest and the most hardcover, what do you say, the most thick book. I love this book. I love to read it. I read it a couple of times, and I just want to read it again. I'm having this for a while, about a year, and I just love this book. When you're continuing animation but adding some real life pictures as well, I just love it. And yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now, The Long Haul, another hardcore book. In this book, Greg Heffley is telling about his summer holidays, in which he tells that his road trip is meant to be fun, but his road trip, this long haul road trip, was just so chaos, as you can imagine by the cover. I don't know why, but in this book they've combined many stories into one story, and the reader feels like it's only one story, and that's great work done by the author Jeff Kinney. As you can read, a family road trip is supposed to be a lot of fun, unless of course you're the Heffleys. The journey starts off full of promise, then quickly takes several wrong turns. Patrol station bathrooms, crazed seagulls, a fender bender, many of these things combined into one. And I'll give it a, what do you say, 7 out of 10. Now, after The Long Haul came out let me turn back, the old school, the black hardcover book, as you can see there, but I don't have it. Focus. Yes, I don't have the old school. I haven't bought it yet, but it was the second recent book, but I have bought the most recent book, and it's Diary of Wimpy, the Double Down, and I've read it, and it also contains collectible cards inside. They're telling about how Greg Heffley is thinking that he is being spied, and he is a big star, and and a regular day TV show is planned on him. It's all telling about Greg's trouble, and the outcome was that Greg tried to be a TV star when he filmed Rowley. They were making a movie, but Rowley was a movie star instead. It's all about how Gregory was regretting himself, and this was the most recent, and it was a bit fun. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. That was all for today, and that was my Wimpy Kid book collection. Like the video and make sure to subscribe, and make sure to comment which book you like the most.